Ladies and gentlemen, we are live, and welcome for tonight's NASCAR 07 Busch Series Custom Schedule Season Race. Race number 22 of 30 here tonight at the formerly known as California Speedway, later known as Auto Club Speedway, now is non-existent, but we are racing here at this racetrack here tonight. And of course, because we are racing as Jimmy Johnson on this season, trying to get him his first career Busch Series / Xfinity Series title, this is his home track, so this is a meaningful one to win. We've got a fast car. Do we have the fastest car? We'll have to wait and see here on race day. We qualified second. We were second fastest in practice. Oddly enough, two different drivers beat us in those categories. In qualifying, Tony Stewart out-qualified me. He's on the pole. We're racing him for the championship, so that's a little concerning considering the fact that we came into this thing about 44 points behind Tony Stewart, so him getting bonus points right out of the gate more than likely here. Unless we can get by him on this opening lap. Outside of that, Matt Kenseth looked very fast in practice. He ran a 39.4. I was second fastest in practice with a 39.6. I don't know where he pulled that out of. I ran a 39.6 again in qualifying, a 6.51. 6.48 was what Tony Stewart qualified in the pole for. So just 3/1000ths of a second he beat me for that pole spot. I thought I had it. The ticker was like on pole the entire time when I came off a turn 4 to the straightaway. I'm like, I think I got it. I crossed the line, missed it by 3/1000ths of a second. So, yeah, Tony Stewart's going to be on the pole. Of all drivers to beat me, that's the one that beats me, so that stinks. First of 3 NASCAR 07 streams this week. Big week for it. Pumping it out so we can try to finish the season up in the next week or two. So, yeah. All right, let's get into this one. 300 miles, 150 laps. It is kind of a longer one. So let's get into the meat and potatoes. Green flag in the air. Trying to get this good launch off the start. Nope, nothing. Like to get down into second if possible. We are in front of Greg Biffle. Just to get, oh boy, passed on the outside. Oh, I forgot Kenseth was a rival. That messed me up. That messed me up big time. Of all cars up there, Matt Kenseth was a rival. I completely forgot that we had rivals. That was a dangerous start, to say the least. Allowed Tony Stewart to get way out ahead, by the way. Everything was scrambled from second on back. Going to get back by Vickers, our teammate here, for position for second place. But yeah, Tony Stewart's going to lead the first lap. That's not what we needed. And if we're going to try to pass him, it ain't going to be easy. I'll tell you that much. Dale Jr., Brian Vickers behind us. Tony Stewart does not like us.
The 33 car is going to be walking for the pass attempt. Give him lots of space.
Ryan Mandam, Dark Crypto, Wade Slinsky, Dan Bowers, thanks for tuning in. Don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me. Don't hit me. Oh, we're drag racing to the line. Tony led that lap. He's got a little more straightaway speed. I mean, that's where the difference was in qualifying. Just trying to get that straightaway speed on him. That's where it's going to be very, very tough. Oh boy, he threw a meaty block to turn 3. I had to let him. I had to let him just take it. I didn't want to wreck because he just chops me off. Oh, look at that. I mean, he's just going to be blocking super aggressively. We're racing for a championship between the two of us here. And these races at Michigan, California, and these EA Sports games, they are fuel mileage races from the get-go. Because the fuel window is right around 50 laps. And as you see 150 laps in this race, you do the math, it's going to be close to a 2 or a 3-stop race. Really tight in line behind him. It's tough because I get tight when I'm like right directly behind him, like I am right now. But because he's a rival, he's gonna just try to block the heck out of me. Oh, jeez. See, here's the thing. In practice, I was tight with my initial setup. My initial setup was very tight. And then I made some adjustments on the car, and the balance felt really good. I picked up in lap times quite a bit, too. Oh, boy, here we go. We got a chance now. Can we lead the lap is going to be the next question. Yes, we are. All right, there we go. 5 bonus points. I didn't mean to make contact with him. That slowed me down so much. Oh, I'm so sorry. Didn't want to catch the apron. I'm all over the place right now. What I was going to say was that in practice, I didn't have to worry about driving behind somebody for the most part in dirty air. Oh! That wasn't how I wanted to pass him either. Look at that straightaway speed he's got. That's just ridiculous. That is ridiculous how much straightaway speed this guy has. Allowing Kenseth, and here's the problem, is that Matt Kenseth is an even bigger rival of mine than Tony Stewart by way of, he's going to try to hit me. And he's going to try to wreck me. So I think what I'm going to have to do here is I'm going to have to just sit behind Tony Stewart, work with him, pull away from Kenseth, because I'm more afraid of him than I am of Stewart right now. Hit Stewart one more time, he may try to wreck me, but... maybe a little too aggressive out of the gate. I won't argue that. And I know I'm battling him, and I don't want him to lead a lot of laps, but you know what? As long as we beat him at the end of the race, even if he leads the most laps, we're going to gain points on him. And I keep saying it, I've said it the last couple races, we control our own destiny. You know, if we just beat him every race, we will win the championship. We have 8 races left after this one. You know, if he leads the most laps, we beat him by 1 position. We're either going to cancel out, or, you know, if that 1 position is me winning and him finishing second, then I'm gaining 5 points on it. Oh my gosh. I can't get into the corner right now. I'm overdriving it for sure. I think another reason I'm carrying so much speed down the straightaways in line behind him in the draft, that when I sail it off into the corner, I can't get it to stick on the bottom like I could with clean air in practice. So he's leaving a lot of bottom open. Really just trying to work with you, Tony. Believe it or not. I just don't want Kenseth turning me. You know, even though I missed the pole, I obviously still have good track position running second. I don't want to lose that because Kenseth's going to try to dump me. And the car handles well now. I don't want to have significant damage for it not to handle well. Michael Turner, thanks for tuning in also. A new puppy? It's like, not that I've ever had a child before, but, or raised a child, but I would imagine it's somewhat the same, you know, outside of, you know, the diaper changes. It's a responsibility is what I'm getting at. And they can act like a little kid from time to time, but not like a baby little kid. They act like, I feel like a little kid from like the age of 5 to 8, if that makes any sense. Minus the potty trained part. They're like a 5 to 8-year-old that isn't potty trained. It's basically what a dog is, or a puppy. Mainly a dog that you're like trying to train. Once they're old enough to just know everything, then I'd say they're like a more like a 10 to 12-year-old. You do most things for themselves, but you still gotta do some things for them. All right. It's our dog training slash parenting 101 with Keegan Schneider tonight. Live on NASCAR 07. I did not see the, well, I didn't see much of Red Wing Free Agency. The only thing I saw was that Perron wasn't going to re-sign, but that was about it. Well, and they got a goalie from Los Angeles also. I did see that also. If there was anything more than that, then no, I didn't see it. I mean, look at that. I'm there. There's a lane. It ain't wide. And I'm scared to try to push it because I've made contact with him accidentally twice already. And it's just so early in this race. I just have to be patient. We are pulling away from Kenseth, which is big for me. Really all I wanted at this point in the run right now. And this allows me to save fuel, because again, I did mention right when we were in the opening laps of this thing that this is a fuel mileage race. Eric Gustafson 2-year contract. Yeah, that I did not see. I did lead one lap. So I know I've got 5 bonus points at least already. Look at that. I mean, that is unbelievable that I did not lead that lap. I was so close to clearing him off of turn 4. All but signing, I think it's horrible. I don't like it either, honestly. It's something about when you're signing guys that are like flip-flopping from one team to another after a year or two tells me that they weren't worth re-signing for the franchise they were previously with because they weren't good enough. That's what that tells me. They're good enough to, you know, not be a minor leaguer. They're like a above average minor leaguer, but they can't sustain, you know, a solid NHL career. That's what that tells me. Hey, I don't like it, to be completely honest. It scares me. Because you do need a solid goalie, too. You need a solid goalie in this league. And anybody that's come up to me randomly, like, hey, you're a Red Wings fan, you know, whatever, whether they're into hockey or whatever. Like, what do you think the Red Wings need to do to take the next step, you know, to get back into the playoffs again? And I keep saying we need a goaltender. Like, everything else, honestly, is fine. Especially based off of last season and the year before. If we can just get solid goaltending, that alone is going to help the defense that much more. Because I don't think the defense is that bad. The offense is definitely okay, I think. Like, sure, it'd be cool to get, like, perennial all-stars, but I don't think we need... The offense is fine. Got a few shutouts. Yeah, but everybody does. Like, who doesn't? What NHL goalie that plays, like, by everyday starter? I mean, like, they're going to start... If there's, like, 3 or 4 games in a week, they're going to be starting all but one of those games in that week. And then, obviously, you got your reserve goalie that's going to play one of them just to... you know, keep the main goalie healthy. Like, that guy's going to get a couple shutouts every year. Like, it's like, that's going to happen. When you play, like, 50-plus games a season, you're going to get a couple shutouts. So, I mean, yeah, it's the flip-flopping from team to team and having mediocre seasons is what scares me about him. Yeah, we've only led one lap. Tony Stewart has led 19 of the 20 at the line this time by. But again, just kind of sitting behind him right now, saving a little bit of fuel. Hoping we can make this race on 2 stops. Maybe we beat him that way. You know, if he's somebody that has to pit towards the end of the race for fuel, that would be huge for us. Massive for us, really. Third net skin in league Wednesday. Yeah, you had 2. I remember you said you had 2 of them, like, right out of the gate, like, practically, early in the year. I did play 1 round this weekend. I didn't shoot too well for my own liking. I shot an 84, 14 over at the course I played at. I think that was, like, the 2nd worst round that I've had this year. It wasn't good. I only had 2 greens in regulation, which, you know, that'll do it. That will do it more often than not. Every time I get alongside Tony Stewart, not every time, 3 of the 4 times I've gotten alongside of him and haven't cleared him yet, I've made contact. And it stalls my momentum out. And I make contact because I get pinched so tight in the corners and I just can't hold it. The car is a little too free. Loose is fast if he can hang on to it when I'm not making passes on anybody. You know, it's good. It's one of those things, it's like if I lose track position and I have to make a pit stop with the lost track position, I'm going to have to tighten this car up or I'm not going to be able to pass cars. Like, it just won't happen. Oh, look out, look out, look out, look out. That was not what I had planned there. Put the grass when I was on the apron. It all started in 3 and 4 when I got on the apron, and I did get loose at the time, but it did kind of grab and pull me, and I just kind of rode it through the tri-oval until it's draft on Tony Stewart. Hopefully I can just get enough of it here off turn 4 to keep up with him, because he does have a fast car. And again, straightaway speed is what I'm lacking, so I definitely don't want to lose touch of him. Week 10 league, yeah, it's still relatively early. All things considered, maybe about halfway, almost. I think the league I played in a few years ago started in like mid to late April and didn't end until like the end of September. Like a few weeks into football season. And I think we might have had our scramble like the last weekend of September or like the first weekend of October after league was done, something like that. So it was a little longer than I thought it was going to be getting into it. So halfway out of gas, right at lap 26, getting off of turn 2. So we're pacing to make it to lap 50, which is good on this run in particular.
The 33 car is going to be watching for the pass attempt. Give him lots of space.
Ran a 39.574. That was the fastest lap I've ran between practice, qualifying, and the race. The smack dab right in the middle of this fuel run. This car's freeing up more and more and more over the course of the long run too.
The 33 car is attempting a block.
Well, it is a 2-horse race right now. I did put a poll up for who you think is going to win this race, kind of similar to what I do in the live commentary streams. I just put my 3 favorites, which were me, Tony Stewart, Me, meaning Jimmy Johnson, Tony Stewart, and Kenseth. Kenseth was fastest in practice. Stewart qualified pole, and I qualified second. Was second fastest in practice. So, oh boy, I'm so sorry, Tony.
You're at the point. Let's widen the gap.
I just knocked him into the wall. He is ticked off. And he has every right to be. That was not intentional whatsoever. The car's just so loose. I tried to make a pass, and then that happens. Good news is I have clean air now. Bad news is he catches me. He's going to try to wreck me. He left the door open, so I'm like, all right, might as well try to take it again. I've tried it a few times, and that time when I made contact, it was a lot more aggressive. Or egregious, I guess, contact. And he got up into the wall. And he is not too thrilled. I swear I did not mean to do that. This thing is edgy. I mean, I clipped the apron right there. It is, see what I mean? Like, it is getting loose. I'm only, like, middle of the run. This thing has to go 50 laps. I'm probably going to have to tighten it up a little bit when I come into the pits. Because if I get into lap traffic, I'm going to be struggling to lap cars if we get a long enough green flag run to get to that. I'm surprised we're really nowhere close to lap traffic right now. He was 0.2 quicker than me. It's just the straightaway speed. That's even with it being as loose as it is in the corners right now. I'll tell you what, I get in the last 5 to 10 laps of this run, lap 40 to lap 45, it is going to be so hard to handle. And we're only going to get 2 pit stops more than likely with trying to push the fuel window, so... Yeah, and I'm not able to save any fuel right now leading a bunch of laps either, so that also concerns me a little bit. It's nice leading laps, but... the goal was to try to save gas, run behind him. Hoping he burns more fuel. He can't make it to lap 50, and then by the end of the race, if it goes caution-free the whole way, then he gets a much worse finish, and we have a shot to win. So even though he left the door open like that, I just got to be patient and not take it. He's just baiting me is what he's doing. At his own mercy that last time. Time to street race begin on Sunday. So, according to the NASCAR app, my start time for the stream is going to be 4 p.m. because they're set to go live for the race just after 4:30. So, drop of the green flag should be just after 4:30 p.m. Eastern time, which would be about 3:30 Central time. The race is 25 laps shorter than it was last year. Scheduled, they did have to shorten it because of darkness last year, but they scheduled it to be 100. Only 75 this year, so, I mean, honestly, I feel like there's going to be teams that can make it a one stop. It's going to be a very short race. It's literally going to be the length of an F1 race, I feel like. If there's not a lot of cautions, it's probably only going to be like 90 minutes to 2 hours. It is not going to be a long race at all. Which, if there's only one pit stop, that means track position means that much more yet again. Which it was going to anyway, because it's a straight race, but... Austin Fair, thanks for tuning in here. Haley Deegan's not running the street race in Chicago. No, I did not. I did not see that. Is it like a sponsorship thing, or is she just not? Well, what's the deal with that? 'Cause I did not see that. Usually catch up on my news by the end of the week, and then like I have it all prepared for the live commentary stream. Home for work for the race starts. That's good. Then Tony Stewart still in second. Oh, of course, it's Stewart and Kenseth. This is not going to be fun. This is gonna be interesting. There's gonna be much watched television coming up here in a couple laps, maybe less. I'm gonna let him go. If he even gets alongside of me, I am letting him go. What about a dozen laps consecutively? Still led the most. Completely overdrove the entry to turn 1 that time. Here comes Tony. Tony and Matt, two drivers that hate my guts. We also need to save gas to make it to lap 52. Definitely an interesting dilemma right now, I will say. Kenseth and Stewart side by side for a second. I wonder who's going to get here first. I probably want Kenseth to lead over Stewart, so Stewart doesn't get the most laps led in the race. I don't know that I'm going to have much of a choice either when the time comes. Probably going to lead this lap. Golly. Oh my gosh, I overcorrected it. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. Oh my goodness, I got so loose, I hit the wall, and then I came off the wall and just turned Mark Martin. Oh my gosh, I thought it was Kenseth. Both the Pennzoil cars are up there. I had the wrong one. Trainscape, thanks for tuning in. Well, I screwed myself there because I can't pit for fuel or tires because I caused the caution. They're all staying out because they're trying to make it on 2 stops. Yeah. I do have to go back to per my rules. When I cause the incident, I have to send myself to the tail of the field, no fresh tires. I didn't do that the last race. I didn't win though either, so. SVG's your new Xfinity driver, new favorite?
Looks like we were the only car on pit road during that entire car.
Yeah, more than likely the field's going to be able to make it to the end. Like, just one yellow more than likely puts everybody to the good on fuel. My tires are going to be shot on this restart. I just lost all that track position. And Mark Martin leads. I screwed that one bad. I got really loose and then I hit the wall and they just happened to be underneath me. I would have done that a lap or 2 before that. That wouldn't have happened. I'm still going to have to try to nurse it because now the tires are going to be even more shot than they were before. Far enough behind the field now, I've got a little bit of clean air. I also had clean air when I got loose that last time too, so. Will I do NASCAR 08 on the PS2? That's the plan after NASCAR 07. I do have another season I planned on doing for each series in this game. I just took that long break from this on our first season. Challenge myself a little more on the Cup Series side because we're in A+ equipment. I'm not going to give myself A+ equipment for the next season, and we'll see if I can win the championship that way. Yeah, this is going to be a huge fight to try to cut through this field the rest of this race. Gonna have to pit at lap 50. I'd like to get to lap 51, but I don't know if we're gonna make it or not. Oh boy, a little contact in front of me. Catch you back up to cars. This thing is loose. Give me as much room as you can, and I'm gonna do all I can to pick some spots up before we pit and hope that I don't wreck anyone again. Dude, I got loose getting into the corner on the high side there, and I hit him, but he pinched me off so much going into the corner. That was ridiculous. And we're back to last. My car took a straight left off of turn 2 there. I did not intentionally drive down to the apron there. That's how loose this thing is. It's way looser on the outside, obviously, as you saw there. A couple occasions now. Oh my gosh. My own car wanted me to just pit right there. Look at the rear tires up on the top right-hand corner of the screen. You know, I'm actually okay with just sitting behind these guys right now at this point. Just trying to nurse this car these final few laps of the run. It's getting ridiculous. Oh, we got cars pitting before lap 50, even with the caution. The caution made the fuel window tighter, but I don't know that we're 100% still able to make it or not. It definitely helps some drivers 100% be able to make it to the end. Without a doubt. Oh, a little contact up in front of us again. More cars pitting. Lap 49. I don't want to be on the outside into turn 1. Really got to clear this guy underneath me. Alright, we did. Car's coming out of the pits. 3 wide up in front of us. I just got really loose there. I kept my foot in it, though. Alright, we're going to have to pit this time. We have made it to lap 50. We will pit. Hang on to it. Trying to back it down. Don't speed. Alright, there we go. We did not speed. Definitely going to have to tighten it up a little bit. We're going to drop the air pressure 2 pounds. That's all I'm going to do for now. Just a baby adjustment there. Going to drop the air pressure all the way around by 2 pounds. Go from 23 PSI to 21. And, of course, we got a slow pit stop. Not what Jimmy Johnson needed here. As if this race wasn't bad enough for us. Tell you what, man. Late in this season, I feel like I'm starting to crack under pressure a little bit, not being in the points lead. And this ain't easy. Like, Tony Stewart's got race-winning speed every single week. And like Martinsville, we did not. We still finished second. Here, we've got potential race-winning speed. I think Stewart's quicker than us. And we've got the second quickest car, hence the reason he qualified first and we qualified second. But We'll see what we can do. Really need this to stay green until everybody cycles through. That slow pit stop really hurt us, though. Big time. True Assassin, thanks for tuning in. Buddy lives 30 to 40 minutes from Colorado National Speedway. I take it that's where you're at right now? I remember you saying something about taking a flight this weekend. Two-car Clint Boyer, does he have to pit yet? Got some drivers that are still just now hitting pit road. We're right on the edge of the field window. There's quite a few drivers. Honestly, over half the field pitted before lap 50, even with the caution we had in this race already. Not by Boyer. Man, Boyer's really deep in the field. I thought I was having it rough today. Like I said, we've got the second fastest car in the field. Got to drive this thing up there. Let the car do the work. We got a lot of time still. I mean, we kind of don't. We only have like 97 to go, but Busch Series races are pretty short, but we do have time to get up there. We'll make it happen. And Tony Stewart, of course, cycled to the lead after the green flag pit stops. Great. We gotta beat him. Which means we may have to win, but figure out a way. Beat him at Martinsville when I didn't think I could. Finished second. He finished, what, 5th or 6th, so. Well, the problem is he was one of the last cars to pit, so he's definitely good on fuel. I don't know that I'm good. And we have to push, too. We can't even save gas because we're so far behind, so. Kind of overdrove it into him there. We're all right. Made the pass. Try to see how many of these guys I can get. Start making cleaner passes. So my straightaway speed isn't great. At least in traffic, I can maybe, get in the draft behind some of these drivers. This car's still floaty. I don't think that damage is helping me any. It's pretty light, but this is a very aero-sensitive racetrack. The high speeds. And like I said, we have to push real hard, so that won't help either. I did make the air pressure adjustment, though. Really hoping it helps more for the long run, because I got to about lap 30, and that's where it really started to get loose. I noticed it right about halfway through the run, but lap 30, it was definitely turning too loose. So, again, hopefully we don't get that here. And this guy's a rival, and he's probably going to try to hit me when I try to pass him. Walking me to the apron on the back straightaway. I went to the apron, slide job. We're clear. It's a little dirty, but I really don't want him to wreck me. I knew what I had to do to get around him. See you later. Those are some heart-throbbing moments, let me tell you. You get a rival in these EA NASCAR games, and you're trying to make a pass in a desperate situation late in the season when the championship is hanging in the balance. Look out. I feel like this thing feels looser than it did before. I tried to tighten it up. Good. I think it's because I'm not saving my tires like I was in the first run when I was in second. And I'm in 38th, and I'm having to push as hard as I can just to try to pass everybody as soon as I can. Yeah, this is an ally. It's colorblind, so I couldn't tell if that was a red or a green indicator in front of me. I think he was an ally. That pass was probably the easiest I've had trying to get through this field so far. 11.8 seconds behind the race leader. We got 90 laps to get there. And we're going to have to gain over a second over the course of every 10 laps. And that's with passing cars. It is not going to be easy. We're going to do what we can. We got to put a full race together. Qualified well. I couldn't even make it a full field run without wrecking, and here we are. We only had 2 pit stops to get to, and I couldn't even get to the first one without crashing. Next race is Talladega on this season. That'll be tomorrow night. Oh boy, that was a big block by Danny O'Quinn Jr. We're 4 wide. I'm sorry. Still 3? Still 3. We made contact, and I got a little ballsy trying to take it 4 wide under him. We're good. We're all clear. And we'll take it 3. Oh! Oh! My life just flashed before my eyes. I went up the track and I wasn't sure if I was clear or not. I got loose and I overcorrected it. Oh my gosh. Kept it off the wall, but lost a spot. That's alright. No damage out of that. Oh my goodness. Still trying to catch my breath. Oh man. Yeah, we can't DNF this late in the season.
Watch the outside. Taking them off one by one. Let's go, man. You're clear.
As far as nobody's out of this race yet. I haven't seen any engine failures. There was like quite a few in practice. They only ran like 22 laps. My gosh. It's so loose getting into turn 3 there. Yeah, I don't know why it's so loose this early in the run. I mean, yeah, I'm pushing harder, but we're only like a little over a dozen laps into it. I wasn't getting this loose till about 30 laps into the last run. And I made an adjustment to tighten it up, and it just doesn't, it feels like it got worse, honestly. Oh, Dale Jr.'s lost a lot of spots. He started 3rd. 3rd or 4th. Somewhere around there. Top 5, because he was up there early. Biffle was up there in the top 5 early, too, and he's also deep in the field. They must have had slow green flag stops or something. Oh, boy. They are 3 wide right in front of us.
Normally, you see him block you right about now. Hold there, 3 wide.
3 by 3.
3 wide. Hold that line.
4.
Hold steady. 3 wide. Car driving better for you now?
Okay, we're clear. I got a little loose there. I'm lightheaded. Hold my breath. 4 wide. Putting it on the edge. Oh, we got about half of them back. We're not eating into the interval much, though. We're still over 11 seconds off the lead. We're like 12 seconds off the lead after the pit stop cycle. We only cut in about a second of it because we're having to fight through so much traffic, but position-wise, we're mid-pack now. Oh, what are you doing? It almost did. It was definitely all on that guy there. Did I stick my nose in there a little late? Yes, but the hole was there, and I was clearly under him. Well, wrecked himself and a few others behind us. But again, we did survive. Almost halfway already. When you're in desperation mode, races tend to go by a little bit quicker. Just like this one. Got a lot of cars up for grabs here. KJ Yaley, Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick, Ron Hornaday. Todd Kluber's in here somewhere. Got a run on Yaley. Set in the mix. And they checked up big time. Give me more room. Slicing and dicing. Very wide. Top 15. Forcing my way in there. Oh, you got a little loose getting in. There we go. Come on. Well, good news is we're in 13th. We're almost midway through this run, so we're about to find out where exactly we are on fuel. Have to make it to the end of lap 75 before we get halfway out of gas to know that we're at that point at least. Didn't give us our exact interval that time to Tony Stewart. The problem is that he's faster than us, which is why I'm not eating into that lead hardly at all. She's got more straightaway speed than us. Between that and we're fighting through traffic, he's got clean air. And we don't get a caution in this thing, I don't think we're catching him, honestly. Just don't see it.
Alright now, get hungry. You have 10-second gap to the leader.
Worst part is, too, is we know he can make it on gas. Can't say the same for us. This guy's gonna block us off.
NASCAR says that's halfway.
Alright, well, halfway home. Maybe I am pacing well enough on fuel.
Take a look at your gauges. Should be running
Yeah, not as good as what I was the last run, but looks like we can make it.
Watch it, come on.
I get to lap 100.
That's just what I like to see. One more down.
Up to 12th now.
Good job, buddy. Clear, all clear.
Still 10 seconds back. We've only eaten 2 seconds of this lead away over the course of the last 27 laps. Like, it is not looking very promising that we're gonna get all the way up there. I mean, you gotta think too, our pit crew had a slow pit stop, which cost us a couple seconds during that last green flag stop. Front tire changer had problems with the right front tire. Desperately need a clean pit stop this time. Like the worst way possible. And my car's just getting looser, and the later the run goes. Thought I was going to have a good chance to get by Newman in 1 and 2. I lost too much ground getting off 4. Try to get him this time in 3 and 4. Not enough of a run. I just don't have enough straightaway speed. Get a little more draft, try to drive it in deep. Nah, he covered the bottom. See if he slides up, center of the corner at all. Stick my nose in there. I gripped that white line perfectly that time.
Hold on, he's still there.
Couldn't clear him.
He's still there. Alright, let's get after the next guy now.
Should get him this time. I've got the positioning. More than half a car length clear into 1. Great corner. Starting to get in a good rhythm now. Alright, 1 spot away from top 10. I mean, lap traffic could hold Stewart up quite a bit too. I mean, if we obviously stay green to the end, we will get there. Get some lap traffic. Yeah, that caution, I think, did at least ensure that we were going to make this race on 2 stops. So if there was a good thing that happened out of that with us losing that track position, it's that. But that's the price you pay with the mistake. It just stinks, too, that Tony Stewart, he wasn't leading when the caution came out. And he didn't get back to the lead until after green flag pit stops. He just cycled back out in front. And it's looking pretty good that he's going to end up leading the most laps. We're past halfway, and he's already led over half of the laps we've already ran. Easily. Super speedways have not been kind to me either. And that's where we go next, tomorrow night at Talladega. I noticed that voting poll, the voting for Jimmy Johnson to win this race has gone down quite a bit. Went from 55% to 47% now. And Tony Stewart's leading. We're 11th. Crocker, Brian Vickers keep crossing each other over, and we're closing in on both of them. That'll be 9th and 10th. For Johnson to try to get by here soon. Oh my gosh. I was wondering how much that was going to slide getting into there. All that time trying to, I mean, whatever time I was gaining on Tony Stewart, I just lost 7 to 8 tenths of a second, just like that. I wasn't really gaining on him much the last several laps before that anyway. Just got too much of the apron. Early in the run, I can get it to stick down there from time to time. Not this late in the run, not 35 laps on the tires. We will take our first driver swap of the race, this time by at the line. And we will swap to Kyle Busch in the 5. And he is currently second. And he is 2 seconds behind Tony Stewart. Busch's car feels a lot more steady than mine does. Soccer Goofy Games, thanks for tuning in. I did get a little loose that time. Autism Trucking, thanks for tuning in also. I ever played Dirt to Daytona? I don't know if I have or not. If I did, I was like really young and don't really remember too well, but I don't think I have. It looks like a lot of fun, though. I've seen bits and pieces of WinVow's career mode on there. I haven't watched it in a while. But, yeah, it looks like a really fun game. I don't know, Busch pulled away from Kenseth a little bit. 1.6 seconds off of Stewart now. And just turned myself off Aaron Crocker. Well, second caution. Still not in the fuel window to make it to the end of the race from here. Whoops. You know, I touched the analog stick a little bit. I was trying to crowd her. I wasn't trying to make a complete block because I knew she was there. Oh, jeez. And now Brian Vickers is going to the tail. Cause the caution, can't pit for fuel or tires. Just our second caution of the race. Especially Vegas AI super wonky with NASCAR 08. Yeah, I've never even played NASCAR 08, but I do plan on going to that eventually. Judo the Goober, thanks for tuning in also. That's a name. That's the same same channel. The icon's the same. I appreciate you tuning in though. It looks like there's two cars out of the race because Stewart didn't get the lap traffic yet when that caution came out. I'm never ready for the long day of work. At least it's not supposed to be like, well, I guess it's supposed to be in the 90s. I live on Wednesday. Tomorrow's not going to be too bad. It was low 70s both yesterday and today where I live. Feels a lot nicer outside than what it did during our hot, humid, like 8-day stretch we had a couple weeks ago. A lot nicer at work, too. I didn't sweat nearly as much. Hendrick fan channel. Oh, okay, there you go. Well, yeah, see, you changed your name. I'm not supposed to know who you are. Now I do, though. Looks like Matt Kenseth got by Tony Stewart on the restart. 105 to go this time by at the line. And we will swap back to Jimmy Johnson, who is outside 3 wide. Big run. Kurt Busch trying to crowd Johnson. And a little too aggressive there. I didn't realize Kluver was coming up. Oh, that was... Car got loose trying to make a block on the straightaway. Stewart's back out in front again. We need tires on this thing. Ugh. Loose as a goose. It's like a similar point of where the caution came out earlier. Not quite within the fuel window to make it to the end. Oh my... Oh, JJ Yaley has crashed big time. And the caution is out again. And I lost a ton of spots before that caution finally came out. I got loose, I overcorrected it. JJ Yaley was there, he goes upside down. Not all the way upside down. On his driver's side door, just riding the wall. It's our third caution of the race. Oh, man. Poor JJ. One JJ hits another JJ. Crew chief recommends I pit. Well, the problem is we cannot make it on fuel from here, I don't think. That is a problem. Man, I lost so much track position. Should have put a half a round of wedge into it, try to tighten it up a little more too. Clearly, the air pressure adjustment did not help at all, really, I don't think. Well, third caution. I don't think we can make it on gas from here, honestly. We have to pit, because if we stay out and everybody else makes it, then that looks bad. Lost so much track position, too. I probably lost like 15 plus positions for that caution came out. And we have another the second pit stop. 2 pit stops in this entire race, but we have a mistake on both of them. Front tire changer on the right side, and now the rear tire changer on the right side. Oh my gosh, how many spots are we gonna lose here too? Yeah, just let him go, you know. Just let like 5 or 6 cars, 7 cars get by me before I exit pit road. Yeah, some cars pit, some didn't. Oh boy, we're gonna have some. This is some major fuel mileage here to the end. That caution, the first yellow kind of helped us. That one, I don't know. We lost 2 positions on pit road. I could have actually gained spots even with that mistake. I'm blocking for my life right now. Man, I did such a good job getting all the way up to 11th. Or back to 35th again. Really hope this wedge adjustment tightens it up where I need it to be. Ran out of gas and ignition. Yeah, that game is the worst to run out of gas in. Kyle Busch to the lead. First time today. Jimmy Johnson going to have to attack on this restart. 4 wide up in front of us, by the way. Off of turn 2. 3 caution flags in the race. Good news is Johnson did lead laps early in the race, qualified second. Led a little over a dozen laps early in the going. Desperately needs a good finish. 44 points behind Stewart coming into the day on the race for the championship. And going to Talladega, where Johnson has struggled on super speedway so far this season. In the first few super speedway races, no top 10s. I just automatically know we're not going to have a fast car in that race. I do like this adjustment. It is definitely more snug. It's not too snug even in traffic.
Number 121 is right behind you.
It'll free up a little bit still on the long run. That's the adjustment I wish I made earlier. Feels more sporty. And, oh, somebody blew an engine. Jeremy Mayfield just ran our fastest lap. We just dropped a 39.316. Fastest lap I've ran in the race, practice or qualifying, by a couple tenths. Which goes to show this adjustment was the right one to make. It's definitely got more grip in the corners than it did before. Well, the balance is right, but now we just don't have the track position right now, so... Whoa! Jeez! That guy just hooked me! Oh my gosh! And I got hooked on Yaley after the fact. Oh my goodness. I was not expecting that. I was like, oh, we've gotten up to 28th already. Wow, we're moving. And then that happened. And that sets us back quite a bit. Don't hit Jeremy. Down on the apron. Took a little wider line just so I didn't risk that potentially happening. We don't have time for retaliation. We gotta go. we gotta go. We don't have a lot of time left of this race. Tony Stewart's got the fastest car in the field. He's not leading. Now's the chance to hope that we can get up there while Busch is leading, because once Stewart gets the lead, there's just no chance we're going to be able to catch him. And I almost had a pass, too. Like, he clipped me perfectly in the right rear. I thought he was going to nose the wall, honestly. Definitely was a pretty good hit. 42 to go. Now my ally's blocking me. Come on, dude. Come on. I gotta go. Oh my gosh. Well, stop holding me up for 27th. I think he's unaware of the fact that I have one of the fastest cars in the field. Oh my gosh. As if these cars weren't hard enough to pass. It's racing me like Denny. Zero blocking. He just hit me. Oh, you're supposed to be an ally. Not what allies do. I got by Boyer. I keep picking him up, putting him down.
The 137 car, high up high. Come on, man, let's keep those tires fresh. You got both sides, you're all clear.
I stuck my nose where the sun doesn't shine. I didn't want to go that low off the exit corner. I killed my straightaway speed. 25th right now. Do I have a girlfriend? Heck no. Why do you think I'm doing this on a Monday night? I've got nothing else to do. There we go. 38 to go. 5 seconds off the lead. Best of, just like we did in 2020. Yeah. Look for, at least on the live commentary side of things, I do plan on doing a best of from the first half of the season during the Olympic break. when there's no more live commentary streams for those 2 weeks. Big run. Well, I wasn't able to run the outside very well earlier. I will say with that wedge adjustment, it's hooking up real nice. And now I'm in the middle. Quick second, I gotta get my laptop on a charger. I think that's causing the stream to lag a little bit. Low battery. That should help. Fixing the lag currently. One at Watkins Glen. You versus Blaney. Yeah, that was definitely a classic. I think the Daytona 500 on NASCAR Heat 5 on the career mode, that first ever race, that was something special too. There we go. Sorry for the slight lag spike there. It was because my battery was low. I had to get my laptop on a charger there. Should be good to go now. Whoa, okay. That was an aggressive move. Pretty wide. Got it to stick. Oh, Harvick's still there. Man, I thought I had him clear. Swanson's got a big run behind us now. Should be able to hold on in front of him. All right, we're up to 19th. Got 35 to go. Busch still in the lead. Yeah, truck race too. That was a good one. That was the first ever NASCAR 05 stream we did. That was the night the game released. Oh, what a run. He's got shot out of a cannon going into turn 3 there. 4.5 seconds off the lead still. Hold my line. We'll clear them. Yep, all clear. Busch is still leading. Oh geez, no, I don't know. We've done so many. We've had. I mean, I've been doing the streams for like just over 3 years, maybe. I've had several photo finishes, so I can't really remember all of them. It was close though. Let's see, 3 wide move. And 3 and 4, Johnson makes the pass. Here we go, up to 12th. Jimmy's coming. So glad. Found this wedge adjustment change because this car was not this good before. 39.289 that last lap. Again, fastest lap of the race. This car is hooking up at the right time. Well, contact off turn 2, killed the speed down the back straightaway. I believe that contact was with Hans Good in the 180. Clear him and get back underneath Martin Truex Jr. now off the exit of the corner. And Jimmy Johnson is back in the top 10 for the first time since the caution just after lap 40. And trying to make 2 passes in the same corner for position. Slide job, clear, barely. And now trying to block and hold that inside line, a defensive line into turn 3. So Johnson up to 7th. 30 laps to go at the line this time by. And a lot of the heavier traffic is now in the rearview mirror. Still 4 seconds off the race lead. I'm going to keep that voting poll open until we get another caution at least. I don't know when a good time to stop them is, because there's no stage racing, because usually with the stage racing in the Cup, well, not just the Cup Series, but just in NASCAR in general nowadays, the live commentary streams that just ended at the end of stage 2. Johnson trying to get in the drive to Kenny Wallace, just not quite close enough. Aggressive line going to the apron. Turns 3 and 4 there. Have to stick. It's still early enough in the run to do that. Only 22 laps on the tires. Another 10, 15 laps from now, definitely not going to be able to do that. Oof. Scrape of the wall off the exit of turn 2 there. That last car we passed with the Peterson guy, fantasy driver behind us, he's still keeping up with us. Kenny Wallace is in 6th. Johnson closing on him. Still 3.7 seconds off the lead. Now it says he's a rival, but I don't think that indicator is dark red enough for him to make any intentional contact with us and trying to make a pass. Johnson sits behind Wallace, back straight away for now. Johnson going to drive it in deep. Gets squeezed into turns 3 and 4. Clear. Up to 6th. 26 laps to go at the line this time by. Johnson trying to break the draft now through the tri-oval down towards the bottom. 3.4 seconds off the lead. Kyle Busch still leading. Opinions on Corey Heim? I mean, great driver. I think, because I picked him as a sleeper to finish in the top 10 this weekend, and he was running 11th place on speed in the first half of the race. After the rain delay, he didn't look quite as quick, couldn't keep up with the track conditions, but he looked very impressive for it only being his 3rd career Cup start. And his first with 2311 Racing, so it was a new team he was racing with. 0.08 of a second. That was pretty close. Yeah, I did see Hooters not going to be sponsoring with Hendrick Motorsports anymore. Did see that earlier today. Thanks for tuning in also, Ethan. Only gained about 1/10 of a second over the last 2 laps. Not going to be quick enough to try to get up to Kyle Busch. Johnson's still digging. Still got one more field pass to get through yet in the race, too. Kyle Busch looking for his second win of the season. It would be his first since the season opener at Daytona.
Alright, interval between you and the leader is 4.5. You got it.
So here's Busch with the lead. Tony Stewart's not in second either. It's good for us. Bad news is he's still ahead of us. You have one car that has blown an engine, working their way in 3 and 4 right now. Looked like it might have been Clint Boyer in the 2. Tough to tell for sure. And he was kind of off on speed this whole race, so tough break for Boyer. Hundredth of a second. That's crazy. I think the closest finish I've ever had on the channel, it was, geez, it was the Do It for Dale season, I think. NASCAR 06. Talladega was 3 wide. It was basically the Atlanta finish from the Cup Series this season before the Atlanta finish from the Cup Series. Brian Vickers trying to fight from deep in the field, just ran his fastest lap of the day that last lap as he looks on trying to pass Hans Good for 13th. And he'll be able to do so. Good, going to get back underneath him into turn 3. Really tight on the outside lane there. Good battling back. 20 to go. Here in Fontana. Move for Brian Vickers there. We'll go back to Jimmy Johnson for the rest of the race. Jimmy still is 7th. Actually, he wasn't 6th, but Kenny Wallace got by him a lap or 2 ago, so it looks like Johnson back at 7th. I don't know if we're good on fuel to the end or not. Remember, this is a fuel mileage race. The way that caution came out the last time. So don't forget about that potentially causing some weirdness to the end of this race. Oh, I was looking at the chat. I messed up. I was trying to read the comments section. I missed my corner. It was a rookie move. Yeah, I think I can get back to Kenny Wallace for 6th, but I think that's going to be about it unless we get a caution. It's unfortunate. Tony Stewart's going to beat us and extend that points lead, and he's going to get, more than likely, he's going to end up with 10 bonus points for leading the most laps. And we're going to end up with 5. And this is a fuel mileage race as well. Wonder with Kyle Busch leading if he has enough to make it all the way to the finish. Not, oh jeez. Oh, yeah, I saw that coming. Oh man, I was on the apron for way too long. I was just sliding all the way through the corner until I smashed the wall head on. That was, that car that hit me got clobbered even harder from behind. And there's caution number 4. And we'll see who's going to be able to make it on fuel and who isn't to the end here, because that caution was pretty violent. Definitely staying out. Even though I should technically pit for the reason I caused the incident. Go. 10 laps to go. Green flag back in the air. Watson restarting in 7th. Kenson trying to get to the lead on Kyle Busch. These two were within a half a second of each other when the caution came out. This car is very unsteady now. Oh my gosh. This is going to be a handful to hold on to the end of the race now. It is wrecking loose. Here we go again. Hang on to it. Oh my gosh. It's too loose now. It's too loose. If I didn't make that mistake, which caused the last caution, then none of this would have happened. I'm so sorry, everybody. Yeah, I don't think I should push the pace any. There's no speed in this thing whatsoever. Everybody's gonna maul me now. Way too loose. 3 wide middle. Four. That was gnarly. We had 6th or 7th in the bag. And made a huge mistake. Caution. Probably debris. I think my hood. No, it wasn't my hood. Maybe it wasn't me at all. Someone behind me lost the hood. Yep. Alright, well, I gotta survive another restart. Definitely not fast enough to gain any spots here. Had a top 10 too. Had a top 10 and I wrecked it with like a dozen laps left. 3 to go on the restart. 13th place for Johnson right now. We're gonna wreck it again. We just DNF'd. Wow. It was so loose. Up and over for Jimmy Johnson and a DNF with 3 laps to go. And now we're going to be swapping to Kyle Busch here for the finish of this race. Who is leading again. Oh, no, never mind. I thought he was in the lead when the caution came out. He was not. Tony Stewart got to the lead right before that yellow flag came out. And it looks like we are going to get a green-white checker attempt here. 50 to go, final lap. Or 50 to go, lap 150, final lap. Kenseth to the inside of Stewart for the race win. He's going to get by him. Does Kyle Busch have anything to catch these top 2? He's loose getting up off of turn 2 as he tries to hold on for 3rd. Fell a little too far behind on the restart, it appears. Still trying to hold off Aaron Crocker into turn 3. And Matt Kenseth on a last lap pass is going to get the win at the California Speedway on the green-white checker at the end of the race. Tony Stewart's going to finish in 2nd. Kyle Busch 3rd. At least Stewart didn't win. But this hurts us bad in the points. I think this is the first DNF of the season. I think it is. Oh my gosh. Kenseth led just 7 laps. Tony Stewart led 69 from the pole. Nice. And he did lead the most, 10. Kyle Busch 3rd. Aaron Crocker 4th. Mark Martin 5th. Todd Kluver 6th. Dale Jr. 7th. Kenny Walls 8th. Hans Good 9th. And Martin Truex Jr. rounds out the top 10. 6 cautions, 29 lead changes, 2 hours, 13 minutes, 43 seconds total time of the race. Margin of victory, 1/10 of a second. Average speed of the race, 134.6 miles per hour. And Jimmy Johnson finishes 38th with a DNF, led 14 laps, just 3 laps away from the checker. It was so loose after that first wreck. We had 7th in the bag, too. It was all me. I mean, there's no one to blame but myself there. I just did not run a good race, and then we rallied back and just killed the car. Literally. Taylor DNF, Sidney, Mayfield, Jeremy Mayfield, Boyer, Clint Boyer, Erickson, Jimmy Johnson. Yeah, those are all the DNFs, 7 of them total. And that is the 3rd win of the season for Matt Kenseth as well. And the 6th for Roush, as Mark Martin also has 3. And we're going to Talladega, which I have not been good on super speedways this season. I'll actually read off my super speedway finishes on the year before I look at the point standings. Let me pull it up. I've been keeping track of all my stats for all the seasons on these EA Sports games. Average finish was 7.6 coming into the race today, too. Not anymore. But 14 laps. That gets me to 795 laps led. Again, 3rd win of the season for Matt Kenseth. My finishes on super speedways, I was 35th at Daytona a few races ago, 6th at Talladega, only led 9 laps in that race. And if I remember correctly, we didn't lead till like the final 20. And then the first Talladega race finished 11th. So we've had 3 Dega races, 6th in the last one, 11th in the first. Only led 5 laps in the first one and 9 in the second. So I just know we're not going to have a lot of speed to go out there and win. It's going to be a battle. And then 38th and 35th in both the Daytona races. And we do finish off the season at Daytona as well. Oh, what the 170 points back. Tony Stewart's got a 1-race lead in the standings, and we go from now not only having to beat him these last 8 races to we got to beat him by a few positions every race on average. And we had 7th. He was going to beat us. He was going to finish probably third place, I think he was running. And it would have went from a 44-point lead to like a 60 or 70 something lead, and now it's 170. Just like that. Well, we got to hope for the best. Talladega, try to lead as many laps as we can. Hopefully I qualify well. Can wrap up the stream. You don't have to wait long for Dega. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll go live for that one, NASCAR 07, back-to-back nights on the channel. Appreciate your support as always. The live commentary streams on Sundays the last several weeks, you guys have been turning out big numbers. Iowa, we set a new stream record for the most viewed stream of the season. The next weekend, which would have been not this Sunday, but the Sunday before that, New Hampshire, most viewed stream again this year, back-to-back weeks. This last weekend, it wasn't the most viewed stream on top of the 2 that we had at Nashville, so we did go down in viewership. It was the 4th most viewed stream of the year, but it was the most liked stream that we've had so far this season. So 3 straight weeks we've set a stream record with the NASCAR Cup Series streams. So don't forget to tune in live for this weekend's events with Cup Practice qualifying. I'll be live Saturday afternoon from the Chicago Street Course race. Xfinity race as well will be live Saturday afternoon. And the Cup race, of course, on Sunday. So NASCAR 07 tomorrow, Talladega, but live commentary coming up next weekend. And also squeeze in the NASCAR 07 stream Friday night also, which I believe is at Texas on this Busch Series season. So appreciate it. Have a good rest of your night, and see you tomorrow. Hopefully we can cut into that points lead on Tony Stewart.